Hello, Bukumi. Uh, Hello, Bukumi. Are you there?
How many people are in the meeting?
Yes, we're about five right now. So yeah, I think we can start. Everybody else will join us, right? Let's start.
Okay, can you hear me clearly? Let me check the people in the meeting. Hi, Angela. Hi, Samuel. Hi, Olajide and Jeremiah. Thank you guys for coming. You guys should unmute and talk now. We're just five people in the meeting. Abi, you just muted and you just disappeared.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Bukumi.
Hey,
Yeah, hi,
hi.
Angela. Samu.
Hello, everyone. Hello,
Yeah.
Bukumi.
So I need to actually say
Uh,
that Samuel is like my favorite person amongst the answers that when I said we should introduce ourselves. When you said I'm a salesman, like you don't hear people always say they're a salesperson, like it's really, really nice to do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, bro.
This is just what it is.
Okay, so welcome everybody to this Bookhub Entrepreneurship Cafe. I would not like to okay, maybe my Oga said I should just keep it short because I have a tendency to talk too much. But basically, this is like the first of like something great that we're going to do. I don't want us to see it as just a way to just what's the word now? Just waste no, just I don't know how to explain it. By pastime, yes, sorry. By pastime. So it's like we intend to build something out of it, and we are lucky and privileged to be part of the first cohort of this fantastic idea that was vetted by Book Hub. So I would like us to open our minds. The strength of this cafe would be community, and you would be. I want us to be expressive. Let's talk. Let's share your ideas. I mean, your concerns, your problems. We're here to solve all of that. We're not supposed to we're not here to do the conventional class teaching. We want value impacted at the end of all of this. So I hope that we have a great time. I hope that all of the desires, all of the things that we we hope to achieve. I hope that we are able to deliver the value that that would help our businesses grow. I'll hand over to my Oga, the top Jeremiah. I'm already talking too much. He's already doing
Exactly.
sign for me.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah. Bukumi, thanks. I really appreciate that. That was cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Angie, nice to meet you. Samu, nice to meet you. Miriam, nice to meet you. Olajide, nice one, bro. I'm very happy to be doing this. I don't know. Should I give a short background about myself? So Okay, yeah, a short background about myself. Finished as a pharmacist, did some startup in the health space, my medicine, my pharmacy. I left. Also started an export business where we kind of do exports to about 5 countries worldwide. We do like 70K every year, and we currently have I'm co-founding a startup in the fintech space. So I don't have a lot of knowledge, but I don't know. We could just learn together, share some of the few things I know, and you can also share some of the things you know, and I'm sure we can actually learn together, right? So we actually said it's quad based, right? So what's a quad? Quad is like when a group of people are actually learning together. So what I'm trying to say is I'll be learning from you guys as much as you're learning from me. Samuel, I think your phone is vibrating. Can you kindly put off your vibe if that's possible? Right. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Um, so yeah, so basically, we're going to be speaking about we're having 4 parts, right? The first part is value creation. The second part is business and the economy. The third part are the forms of business, and the fourth part is their questions, right? There are take-home questions that we're going to be sharing, and we're going to be answering those questions over the week. And those are discussions that we're going to have after this Zoom meeting. right? So basically, business is about value creation. Like at the basic level, that is what business is about. Like forget all the English and everything that everybody say. It's all about creating value, right? And Paul Graham, the founder of Y Combinator, that a lot of us know, I think, said when you make something people want, there's nothing more valuable than an unmet need that is just becoming fixable, right? If you find something broken that you can fix for a lot of people, you have found a good mine. Yeah. So as we said again, that business is about value creation, and we hope to take you through this course and get you ready to create value for the society and get rewarded for it, right? So we're just going to start with what are the goals of business, right? Uh, so if before I even get there, right? First of all, have you ever wondered what the lady selling detergent down your street, the oil magnate $1 and the billionaire investor Warren Buffett actually have in common, right? Um, so we are going to learn that in this class, and at the end of this class, we will actually see that we already have some of the characteristics that these people have, and they are not really special, right? So I'm just going to jump right into it, right? So what's the purpose of a business or goals? The primary purpose of a business is to maximize profit for its owners and shareholders while maintaining corporate social responsibility. And we can drill them down to like maximize profits and shareholders, right? Your shareholders are yourself, your employees, yes, your customers, very, very important. And you also need to make profits, right? So, and that's it, right? And the truth is that you actually get paid in proportion to the problem or the level of problem you solve, right? So it doesn't really matter if you're selling something to 10 people or to 100 people or to 1 billion people. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're providing value to those people, right? And I'll just give you a very simple example, right? Somebody like Peter Thiel, he started something called PayPal, right? And millions of people use PayPal, and he's a billionaire, right? And then he left PayPal, then he started another company called Palantir, right? And Palantir is literally selling to countries, right? So they sell to, I think their total customers are like 30 customers, and it's also a billion dollar company. And you're like, wait, you're starting something that is for millions of people and you make a billion, and you're selling for 30 people and you're also making a billion. So it's actually not about what you're selling or or the number of people you're selling it to. It's just about the amount of value that you're creating, the amount of problem that you're solving, right? And some other goals of business, right, is social benefits. A lot of people on Bookhub like all this social benefit thing, like find your why, which is really, really nice, right? So that's also very important. And also innovation as a goal, right? Where you're like, I just want this thing to happen and I'm going to create it. But now, how can you create that goal for that business, right? You do that by addressing market needs, right? And this we just basically say that a business will just find a market need and needs to satisfy that need in a sustainable manner, right? And what's a market? A market is just any structure that allows buyers and sellers to exchange any type of goods, services, and information. And we've actually seen that there's a market comes in many forms, right? There is the physical market, and that's when you're selling pure water, selling physical things, right? There's a non-physical internet market that a lot of us are not really looking into, and that's literally what is making like that's literally what's driving the biggest set of opportunities now, which are like selling software products, right? Selling ebooks, selling information, right? Even music, right? Those are markets, right? Another type of market, another form of markets are like artificial markets, right? Where you try to get like permits from the government when you go to the marriage registry. Those are markets. And there's also the stock market. So now how do you find a market need? Because we've spoken about finding a market need, like a business needs to address a market need. How do you address that market need? The best way you can literally do that is by really understanding human desire, because a lot of things actually change. but human desire almost never change, right? What humans needed 1,000 years ago is what we need now, and that's what we're going to need 1,000 years from now. It might now be in different forms, but we are always going to have this basic desire. And we just wrote it there, like that the 5 core human desires are to acquire, and that's where you want to buy land, right? You want to have your own apartment, right? We also want to bond, right? That's where we have Facebook, social media, Tinder, right? Like for dating and hookups and all of that. We also want to learn. That's why we have like Coursera, we have Udemy, we even have regular universities. We also have this need to defend. That's where you have like insurance products, right? And you want to feel. What's an example of feel? Let me see. Yeah, a perfect example of feel would be like comedy, like having comedy, creating comedy skits, comedy programs, or even watching porn, right? Porn is not really doing anything per se, but it's making you feel a certain type of way. And that's something, that's a market, right? So yeah, and like literally the most important thing in business is actually finding a market. As Mark Andreessen said, he said the market matters most, right? Neither a stellar team nor a fantastic product will redeem a bad market. And market that don't exist don't care how smart you are. So even though you have all these big dreams and we have all these really exciting things, it's always very important to know like what is the market right now, right? And if you want to save yourself a lot of money in doing a lot of market research, you don't want to fail too much, just find a market that already exists, right? If people are selling Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and they're opening their own Bitcoin exchange, you to start your own, right? You're going to make your own money, right? And that way now you're not really thinking about something so innovative that might not work. You just know that what I'm focusing on is the marketing. I'm not focusing on creating something innovative that might not work, right? So which is really important. So we just want to touch on these things right now, and I'm just going to run through them, and I'm going to explain, right? Value creation, as we said earlier, is just creating and providing something of value. Very basic, right? Customer demand is very important that you create something that people want and people need. Another thing is transactions, right? People need to be willing to pay for that value at the price that you're asking them to pay. So even if people want it, if you ask people to pay for something and they're not paying at that price, then you've not found a business. Value delivery means that you need to satisfy the buyer's need and expectation. And profit sufficiency, right? Profit provides the business sufficient revenue to make it worthwhile for the owners. You need to make money for yourself. And there's also something I really want to touch on. And it gives a lot of newer people problems, right? When they hear things like Amazon has not made a profit for 20 years and is worth 20 billion. And another business is making profits and is not worth a lot. And people are like, how come a non-profit making business is actually worth this? And all of that. And I just want to just say this, that there's actually a difference between profit and valuation, right? Like profit is literally the difference between your total revenue and your total cost, which is very basic. But your valuation is actually it's the value, or it's the present value of the company's current and future profits. And that's really important, right? And we're going to actually, I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm actually giving this difference right now as we go down the slide. Understand the difference between valuation and profits. They're kind of different, right? And that's why you can see non-profit making business being valued at billions and tens of billions, right? We're going to talk about that later. So now let's move ahead, right? Business and economy. So an economic system basically is a system by which the society organizes and distributes available resources across a geographical region. And why do we need to understand business and economy, right? It's just a big term. Why am I talking about business and economy? It's because the economy of the geographical location that you are situated in would actually determine if the business, if whether or not you should even do a certain type of business, right? And we're going to talk about that later. And what are the types of economy? We have command economy, and here is when a dominant central authority controls a significant portion of the economic structure, right? North Korea is an example. Another example to a certain extent is China, right? Where you can create a lot of value. You can create a very big company, and the government is literally going to step in tomorrow and say, hello guys, thank you very much. You've done a great job. We want to take over this business, right? And that way, if you're in that kind of country, you either want to leave and go and do business in a place that makes sense, or you want to pally up with the government so that they don't come and shut you down, right? So it's very, very important that you understand the economy of the geographical place where you're playing in, so you know the type of business and the type of stakeholders engagements that you're going to need to do, right? Another type of economy is actually market economic system. And this just follows the concept of free market, right? Which is just based on demand and supply. Do you want, I want, do you want what I have? Yes, or you buy and give me money and we are fine. And there's actually no completely true market economic system because market economy is not fair. At a point, the government will need to step in because a true market economic system would make people who are already wealthy, it will make them wealthier, right? They just keep amassing wealth, amassing wealth. And that's why we're going to move to mixed system. And a mixed system basically combines the characteristics of a market economy and command economy, e.g. Nigeria, e.g. US. But the difference between a mixed system, or the differences between mixed systems, is actually the extent to which the government is combining either market economic and command economy, and based on the industry, right? In countries like Nigeria, some industries are heavily regulated, that it is so bad that if you want to start your own paga, if you don't have 2 billion naira, you literally can't start anymore. And the government might not even give you a license, right? So for that space, the government is practicing like some sort of command economy. They're controlling who they're giving the licenses to, right? And in some sort other industries, the government are not doing a lot of regulation, maybe like cryptocurrency, even though they are stopping the banks, but there's not still a lot of regulation around that, right? And it's very important to know the industry where you play in and the level of government regulation in that industry. It is very, very important, right? Like, how much is the government controlling this industry? If you're smart, you want to go to an industry where the government does not have too many control, at least not now, right? Yes. And government and business, we've said a lot about economy and we've moved to government, right? And government and economies go hand to hand, right? Because the government is literally the number one factor of how well an economy does. And stability is really important to economic growth. And businesses do not prosper when corruption is widespread. And investing in a country like Nigeria is very risky. You don't know what the government might wake up tomorrow, and you don't want to know the policy they might bring out tomorrow. So you really, really have to be careful. You really need to do like some sort of understanding, or like note the kind of business you want to do. Like, okay, let me look at this business right now. Are they going to regulate this business in the next 2 years? Before they regulate, can I get in and make something so that even when they're regulating, when they're making those laws, I'll be able to, or I'll be financially capable at that time to pay for the license that is needed, right? Or if I'm going to a very, very regulated industry, do I wait till I raise a lot of money before I go into this industry, right? It's very important to understand these things. In 2018, when we were doing something at the online pharmacy, at that point there was literally no regulations, right? So anybody could start up that. That even in 2019, we had a meeting with the regulatory authorities asking us that, come and tell us how to regulate this thing. We don't understand what people are doing. Are you people saying you can sell drugs online and all that? So at that point, you can literally be in your room and start a business in that space because there is no regulation around it. Up until now, there's still no regulation yet, but regulations are coming. And the best time is, can you get in before the regulation comes in so that regulation can lock you up inside, right? Because that way you're part of the people that will make the rules and regulation, and you can always favor yourself as the case may be, right? And also belonging to an international trade organization provides some assurances that the company will abide by international regulation. And doing business globally, this is something that is really, really important to me as a person. And I really, really hope that at the end of this class or at the end of subsequent classes, a lot of us are attuned towards international business, right? I don't know how nice it is, but earning in Naira is not the best thing in the world, right? Especially if you're doing business, right? You want to do a kind of business that gives you opportunity to earn some currency that is not the Naira. And that also helps to limit your extent of exposure to countries' regulation, right? So imagine if you're doing international business, you're doing business with 5 countries worldwide. You know that if one country does nonsense, you still have 4 other countries that you can still do business in, right? So I really, really hope that by the end of this class, we're a little bit attuned towards doing business globally. And when we're searching for markets, when we're searching for business, right, we can always be looking at what is that thing that even though I'm doing it now, I have the opportunity to global, right? And we just said method of entry into global markets, right? Software products are easier to reach global users than physical products. If you really want to scale globally easily or a little bit easily, you want to build software products. Not software, I mean like an app, like something that is non-physical, right? You maybe a software, gain a skill that you can sell, um, um, create some sort of ebooks, do music, for instance. These are just basic examples. Or just creating things that can tap into the global market. Those are kind of nice businesses that you can reach out to or you can do because now you are exposed to a lot more customers. You're exposed to a lot more people. And also global trade restrictions, right? When you're dealing with physical products, you're going to have global trade restrictions. Even if you're doing software products, you're going to have that, right? That's where a company like US can say we are banning this app, and another country will not ban it, right? You need to understand the restrictions in those different countries, and also check the feasibility of doing businesses in these countries. So we're going to go to the next part, right? Forms of business, right? So now let's say you understand markets, right? You understand business, you know the type of economy that the country is running. You are trying to do business globally. You are trying to solve that market need. You understand human psychology. You are tapping into that human psychology. That's very brilliant, right? The next thing I want to do is like, how do I form my business, right? How do I form my business? And there are different forms of business or legal forms of business. And the first one is sole proprietorship, right? Where it is owned by one person. You can start it in your room literally after this call. You don't need to talk to anybody. You control all of the decisions, right? That's really cool. The disadvantage is you don't have a lot of protection, right? In a sole proprietorship, if your company's liability is your liability, so if your company runs into debt or into debt, they can literally come and catch you and say, hello, you want a sole proprietorship, we need our money back, and you have to pay them. I mean, you can go into partnerships, right? 2 or more people, and it could be limited or unlimited, right? If you're saying it's limited, it means that you're limiting the liability to the partnership itself, not to the partnership itself. I mean, the business and the partnership, not into your personal finances, right? And you could also set up corporations, right? These are owned by shareholders that elect a board of directors to oversee the business. And the forms of ownership affect how businesses are taxed, right? How profits are distributed and what regulations must be followed. And it's also very good to understand this before you start. Yes, so we are actually back to startup and SMEs and MSMEs, right? And I just want to give a very, very important difference. Because now we already know the forms of business to start. It's not about what kind of business do I want to start, right? Do I want to start an SME or do I want to start a startup, right? And what are the differences, right? Even though they are both businesses. Um, a startup is literally an organization searching for a scalable, repeatable business model, usually optimized for fast growth. And most times, startups optimize for valuation rather than profits. And this piggybacks to what we said earlier, where we said that you might see a company valued at billions, but they're not making a lot of profits, right? It's because startups are actually optimizing for valuation. You're like, okay, can we forgo profit right now in exchange for valuation, which is if the value of the present and the future profits? So we are going to make profit, don't worry, but we're not worried about that now. Let's take all of the things that would have been profit to us. Can we pump it back into this business to just keep growing? Let's just keep growing. Let's just keep growing. Let's just keep growing. Let's keep doing more things. Let's grow as fast as we can. And our valuation is going to communicate that we are providing value, which is, as we said, that profit is really important, right? It shows that your business is sustainable. But valuation is actually like this profit, this is actually the value of the profit that we're going to make in the future, right? So we're intentionally not collecting the profit now because we want to grow more. But we are saying, let us put this money back into this business so we can create a very big, valuable company that we can maybe sell off. And at that point, we can now start optimizing for profits, right? So it's very important to know that, am I starting a startup? And what is an SME, right? SMEs are far more structured. They are designed to be sustainable from the get-go. You found a gap, you found customers, and you're pitching to them. So you want to sell human hair. You're starting an SME. You're already seeing the gap. Ladies like hair, and hairs are like 60K, at least, yeah, the affordable ones are like 60K. They're like, okay, that's nice. If I go to China, I can bring in this hair for 50K, and because you found that gap. You found customers, ladies are my customers or women are my customers, and I can pitch to them, right? This way now you are actually optimized for profit, right? You sell, you bring out your profit, you take care of your family, you buy again, you just keep growing. Though you're growing, but you're not really, you're not doing the most innovative thing, right? You're more concerned about profit, you're more concerned about structure. But a startup is more concerned about fast growth, about looking for business models, about like what can we do to grow really fast? What is that innovative thing that we can actually do, right? And so yeah, so what I'm basically saying is that myself and Angie, or Angie and Samu and Miriam can literally start the same business selling hair, human hair, but they actually have different goals for their business. Angie could literally be starting a startup, right? Why Samu is starting an SME, even though they are doing the same business, right? Because the goals of Angie is totally different. It's like what is that scalable business model? What is something innovative that I can bring in? How do I raise funds from investors so that I don't have to bring out profits, so that I can keep putting money back into the business? How do I raise more money so I can grow faster? But Samu is more concerned about, yeah, it's a business that is sustainable, that makes some profits, and we're just going to be growing steadily, right? So that's just one thing I wanted to just talk about. And we're literally coming to the end of the class, right? And these are questions to consider, right? Okay, so this is the point where everybody's literally going to get unmuted, and I will literally want us to answer these questions, right? What human needs or desires do this product or services satisfy, right? An iPhone, Twitter, Avon HMO, Udemy, Tinder, or Piggyvest? Oh, I think I've answered some of them already. Okay, no, so we are going to skip that question. I'm going to answer it as a group. The question I actually want to ask everybody right now is that, which would you prefer, a startup or an SME, and why? If you don't mind, I'm going to pick somebody on random, and I hope I don't put you on the spot. And I'd love for you to actually tell me which one you prefer. So I can only see like 5 names here. So I think the other people that I can't see, they're kind of safe. So Miriam, which would you prefer? A startup or an SME, and why?
I was really thinking it wouldn't be me. But that's fine.
That's okay.
Actually, I think I already have like an SME,
Yeah.
but going with the class and what you've actually said, startup actually sounds great because really you want to look into the future. Well, based on what you've said, or
Yeah,
like
sure.
based on what today's class and all of that, SMEs, startup actually sound good, but I think they both have their advantage and
Yes, they
disadvantage based
do.
on what you want.
Yeah.
And like you said, the market, the business you want to go into and all of that, because you want profit, or in as much as you want a valuation where in the future you want a very big company that you can always get much more than the profit that you would have desired when you start. So
Exactly. Yeah.
startup sounds very, very cool. It sounds like a very good idea. Now I understand why people are running into startups actually. So it looks like you've just probably changed a little part of my mind.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll start. But really, but it's good. And yeah, so startup. Well, I have SMEs really. I have one on ground, and
You're
I
like,
look
okay,
forward
now I've created something for
now.
profit. Oh, yeah, let's go to create that big thing, that valuation thing, so that one day when we sell, I'll just cash out my money at once. And yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Thank you very much for following. Um, Anjay, are you there? Or I will mute you actually. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Okay, so I wanted to actually ask you, you're following, right?
Of course, I was following.
Okay. So, I want to actually ask you run a business already, right?
Yes, I do.
And yeah, what government policy do you think can actually affect your business, and how are you trying? How are you trying to how are you trying to? I don't want to use the word escape. How are you trying to work with that? Like what's the policy that is affecting your business, and how are you working with it? Like, how do I make sure that this policy does not affect me negatively, and I can get on the positive side of this policy?
Okay, thank you very much.
Better say that question hard, Abby.
Well, I mean, it would have been hard. It would have been harder if I was in a country like United States
Yes, that's
or
true.
United Kingdom. But then I'm in Nigeria, where even the regulated economies, regulated industries are not really regulated.
That's true.
Nigeria has our regulators are, they're there for the money, really.
Yes, that's true.
Such that even if they put up a new policy or regulation, it's just for the tax force to bring in more money to the
More
office.
money, yeah.
So really, at the moment, there's really no
policy that is really affecting
policy
you
that
guys.
is no at all.
That's
But
cool.
then in the nearest future, anything can happen.
And as in anything can happen. Also, let me just answer this one shortly, right? Which one would you prefer, a startup or an SME, and why?
So I'll prefer a startup, given the fact that, I mean, the goal of every business is to grow. And when you look at growth, one key part of growth is valuation. The fact that you could you could actually see the growth in the value of your business.
Yeah.
Regardless of the profit you're making,
yeah.
You're looking at how to optimize your growth process for a bigger valuation. Even if you want to sell the business in the near future, it's the value that you're projecting to the world that that will be sold, not your current profit. I mean,
Yes.
you're probably not even making any profit at the moment.
Yeah.
But then you'll be valued higher than an SME, and SME that is making profits right now.
Yeah.
I think it's more about the optimization for growth and future valuation. Yeah. So I think that's a big
But I want to just add this again. Thank you very much, Andy. I just want to just say that it's not like startups don't make profits, I'm just saying that they're not really optimizing for profit per se. Their more optimization is like for fast growth and valuation, right? So they make profits, but most times instead of taking the money out, like you put the money back into the business as marketing expenses. So let's say you start a startup, right? You're selling seaway bottle, the seaway bottle, and this way is now in general. You're selling seaway, and so now your profit is supposed to be 20 naira on maybe 100 naira, right? Normally you can bring out 20 naira and say, oh, hello, my shareholders, right? Hi, which is yourself. I found 20 naira profit. Let's share this money. You're not like, okay, no, I'm going to take this 20 naira, I'm going to add it to my marketing expenses to grow further so I can sell more, right? So on your books, it's like, yeah, we would have made this profit, but we are not taking out this profit, right? We are optimizing for valuation, and now you're facing different headaches, right? You're running startup, you want to talk to investors to raise funds, you're talking to lawyers, you're trying to grow at all costs, you're using technology, using all these good strategies. But as an SME, you're also trying to raise funds, but you're far more structured. You know what you're doing, you know what is going to give you money, you're focused on what you're doing already, and so they're both good and bad, and honestly, they have the advantages and disadvantages. So thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to put up these slides on the group, and
I'd
I'm
like
going to,
to say something.
yeah,
I'd
I know
like
I'm
to say
not done.
something.
I'm not done. So I'm going to
Oh,
put up
okay.
this. Yeah, I'm not done. I'm coming. You speak. I'm going to put up this slide on the group, and I'm going to share it, and we can just go through it, and we share. Bukumi, please, let's hear you, madam, at the top.
Okay. Okay, so I wanted to say something about startups and
Please,
MSMEs
sure.
or SMEs. I would like to say that as well, there are like different opinions about what a startup and what MSMEs are. Like, I like the fact that you're able to streamline it to or limit it to,
Yeah,
well, streamline it to valuation and profit. But at
yeah,
the same time, I feel like
I can hear you.
startup and this is MSME.
Sorry,
Can you hear me?
no, we missed you there. We missed you for like 5 seconds or 10 there.
Okay, so um, I was saying that for me, I think that difference between a startup and an MSME is the, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It's really clear.
Is the, yeah, it's the opportunity for innovation that a startup offers, like the models and the, like there's a lot of things that go on in a startup. And for me, if I say which will I prefer, like Miriam said, I think that it depends on what my immediate need, like what I really want to achieve
At
at
this
this
time.
time.
Yes,
You
yes.
can actually grow. So what I was trying to get to was what Angela said was that about the goal of every business is to grow. You can
Mhm.
actually grow even with an SME. It just
Mhm.
depends on what you are doing, because Dangote did not start with a startup. It was an SME, and he's like a big corporation now, so I think that it just depends on the goal, like your individual goal. That's just what I need to say.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, that's true. Like what Bukumi said is really, really right. Actually, like trying to be startups are like, so I spoke about it majorly from the part of valuation versus profit, right? Because that's what we spoke about earlier. But there's also the part for startups are more innovative, right? And that's why the first part is searching for a scalable and repeatable business model, right? That means that you are more innovative, you're trying more new things, you are scratching so many itches and trying to find out what really works, right? So there's also the innovation part of startups. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much, Bukumi, for adding that in. Um, yes, so at this point, actually, do we have any questions? Or do we want to put it on the group and get everybody to speak about it?
Question. I have a question. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good. I'm trying to see who is speaking. Yes.
Zainab.
Hi, Zainab.
Hi. So I just want to thank you for the class. You simplified it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I just want to confirm my thoughts so I
Yeah.
don't get the wrong listen. So startup, can it be something managed by an individual, just one person, or it's more of a group thing?
You mean startups?
Yes.
Yes, sure. So like the form of the business does not actually matter fully. Okay, it does. But one person can start a startup, right? Most times the startup is actually not based on the person, is more about the goal, right? You're searching for, imagine, so it's like one person is searching for a scalable, repeatable business model, doing innovative things, right? Optimizing for valuation. That person is running a startup, right? Three people also doing the same thing, searching, doing innovative things, or providing innovative solutions, searching for a scalable business model. They're also running a startup, right? So the startup does not really is actually not about the number, right? So you have solo founders, right? A lot of companies are started by solo, like one person, and you also have like companies that started by two people, started by three people. I'm trying to look for examples right now, but definitely it doesn't matter. The number of people or founders does not matter in the type of business that you want to run.
Okay.
I hope I was able to answer that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I'm not actually saying anybody should run a startup. Actually, I'm not pitching any of them. Right? It's just for information purpose. So you kind of know what you're planning to do from the start. You kind of know the plans, right? You know the steps to take when you're running your business. Yeah, so Piggyverse is like 4 people. But let me just say that right now. Anjay, we're having access to the teaching slides. Thank you very much. Piggyverse, they're actually even more than 4. They're like a lot, right? But they're like 4, right? Some companies are started by one person, maybe Robin Hood or whatever. Some are started by 2 people and the like. So it doesn't matter. The number doesn't really matter. Do we have any other question? Hello? I think we don't have any other question. Yes, so Bukumi, so we're gonna be rounding up now, and I'll be putting the slide on the group. And if you have any other questions, you can always put it on the group, and we'll talk about it. We can share opinions. If you have varying thoughts, come on, share it, right? We want to hear it, and we'll learn together. And we really hope that to continue this conversation offline, we want to be like a cohort where uh, everybody kind of has a business, right? And we are sharing strategies and goals for everybody on how to grow together, how to understand finance, how to understand law, how to understand their books, how to raise money from investors. Those are things that we're going to be talking about in other classes. And we're going to have like other facilitators who will be taking these different classes. And we really hope that by the end of this 6 to 8 weeks, our businesses have grown, or our knowledge of business, right, and our knowledge of what we want to implement has really grown. So thank you, everybody. And I really appreciate your time. So I'm
Thank
going to be
you.
ending the class now.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
so
your
we also
time.
have the recording. We can also
Thank
share the recording too, so that would be cool if you need it. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye, everyone.
bye, bye. Yeah, bye. Let me just